Hello, Capital Sage. We're on the same page. I'd like to make a video today about being intentional. How to be intentional. That's something that is a step on the way to success that I feel like is not stressed enough of how to do it. So I wanted to make a video today about how to be intentional. There's steps that you can do, and I've actually my music. Okay, I've actually written down. I have actually written down 3 steps that I feel like will help a person be more intentional. Because here at Sages, I'm all about explaining things in a practical manner, whereas more people could grasp the concept. Like, I understand that the game is to be sold and not told and all that, but you know, we in trying times, and so if I find keys, I will share them. So what I came up with for how to be intentional. What is intentional? Intentional means being the creator of your life. Intentional means being the co-creator of your life with the universe. So to be intentional is to decide what you're going to do, and hopefully it's for the positive. So how to be intentional. This is an example of being intentional. Trying things out and being flexible. When you are open to new ideas, when you have a checklist of things that you want to try, even if it's a hobby, if you're just like, I want to do this, and then you just go out and try it, you look up options, you just go out one day and do it, you know, think about it and then put it into action, and then you're willing to grow along with the process. That is being intentional. Versus the verses of that would be to be passive in that type of situation would be to be rigid and wait for the right time. Now, there's nothing wrong with planning for what's the best time, the same way that you would plan how to plant some vegetables or plant a garden. There's a certain time, but it is passive to just wait for the right time all the time, and you're just always constantly waiting and not doing any action. Waiting too long and not doing any action is passive. So it might seem like, okay, it's passive to just go out and do things kind of haphazardly, but it's actually more passive to be rigid and just sit and wait for the perfect time. So, how to be intentional? Try things out and be flexible. Capital Sage. Number 2, follow through even when you don't want to. This is a way to be intentional because there's a myriad of things that could stop you from doing something. And a lot of them don't matter that much. It's more like maybe being uncomfortable, coming out your comfort zone and stuff like that. And it might disguise itself as actual issues. But a lot of things just deal with being uncomfortable with change. So what you want to do to be intentional is to follow through with what you say you're going to do. Follow through. Keep it up. Which is going to lead me to my next point of how to be intentional. But let me tell you what the opposite of that is. If you follow through, you're being intentional. So the passive side of that is making excuses. If you make a bunch of excuses, that's passive. And I'm saying that because excuses seem valid. They always seem valid. But that's being passive, and it's not being intentional. Intentional is to follow through with what you said, no matter how you feel about it. Intentional. How to be intentional. Capital Sage. Another way to be intentional, have a structure. So that's a plan. Have something in mind of more than one step. Not just, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and get this. How? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to talk to? What are you going to talk about? How are you going to present yourself? Etc., etc. How to be intentional is having a plan or a structure. That is saying, I'm going to do these things. That is intent. I'm going to do these things. Those are intentions. That's a way to be intentional. The opposite way, the passive way, is making it up as you go. I have been the advocate of this for a very long time, and that's how I know you shouldn't do it. Making things up as you go is cute, but it's not feasible. It doesn't get things done, and it's not intentional. How to be intentional? Have a structure and have a plan. How to be passive? Make things up as you go. Capital Sage. Like, okay, like Jimmy. Capital Sage. And I'm gonna give you a bonus because I said I was gonna do 3. The 4th way to be intentional: have a routine that facilitates success. So the passive version of this is to only work towards your success during work hours. The intentional way to be intentional, because we're talking about how to be intentional, is to have a whole routine for success around your work hours. It's not going to help you get in shape if you then go to the bar and drink 45 beers. It's not going to help. Having the routine around your goals in your regular life facilitates success and is intentional. Being passive: only working towards your goals during work hours. Not saying that you're working all the time, but you do have a routine in place that supports what you're working towards. I hope that helped you. Capital Sage, we're on the same page. That's what I owe if you talking about money. I love you. Bye-bye.